Last time we looked at implicit core animation animations, where we had a begin transaction, a setting of our animation, and a commit. However, if you want even finer grained control over your core animation, you can call it explicitly. So inside of our view did appear, let's remove this cat transaction, but let's leave this layer set in view did load because we're going to animate that layer again. So inside of view did appear, let's get our original CG point, and we will call this from point equal to the layer dot position. So that grabs our current position of our layer, and we're storing this so we can reference it later and use it. Now I've talked about having finer grained control, and one of the finer grains that you can have is creating a path for your animation to follow. So let's go CG path. Path is equal to a new CG path. Now we're going to add some lines to this path. So path.add lines, and this takes an array of CG points. So let's have new CG point array, and let's populate it with some values. Let's have it from the from point we pulled out before. Then let's create a new CG point, and let's take it to 50, 400. Then let's have another point on here, and let's have, I don't know, 150, 50. And let's have an ending point, CG point, which is 200, 300. Why not? Close off our braces and our brackets, and now we have a path that kind of zigzags using straight points. Now that we have that path, we're going to create a core animation keyframe animation. So this is CA keyframe animation. Let's call this anim equal to, and first we have to cast this to a CA keyframe animation, and then we pull out from our CA keyframe animation class, and we say dot from key path, and it asks us for a path. So let's just type this as position. Then we have to set the path. So anim dot path is equal to the path we created earlier, and we need a duration. Anim dot duration equal to 3, and that would be seconds. Finally, all we have to do is add the animation to the layer. So layer dot add animation. We pass it over the anim, and it asks us for the key, and this is the one we set earlier as position. And then once that fires, that is going to start our animation and run it along this path. So let's hit play, and we have a slight error. What is my error here? Oh, we need a new CG point here. Okay, hit play, we should be good to go. And now we should see this image sort of bounce around our screen, and then once it's finished, it pops back to its original place. So bear that in mind with animations. To stop it popping back to its original place, underneath our from point, let's have layer.position equal to a new CG point, and this is going to correspond to the final point in the path. So 200, 300. And so now when the animation finishes, it's going to leave it at that position. So it pops up, off it goes, does its thing, and it stops there. So that's just a very basic explicit core animation, and I'd advise you to go and read up on this if you want to know more, if you require this kind of animation capability. You can imagine that if you're going to make a drawing app or something similar, this core animation class is one that you'd use quite often. If you want to go even deeper with drawing, you're going to have to go towards the core graphics or OpenGL or something similar to that, which is a lot more work and requires a lot more understanding. So I've just touched on this core animation concept here, so you get a feeling for the 3 levels that you can use for your app.